Hey everyone, welcome to HEPPY. I'm really excited because this Bob Gordon Elderberry just blew up. And in this video, we're gonna prune her and we're gonna propagate that elderberry the easy way, the HEPPY way. Welcome to HEPPY.
Hey, wake up!
So we planted this Bob Gordon Elderberry in about 2019. We bought her in 18 as just a little stick. Got her in the ground in 19. Got a picture online of what she looked like in 2020, 2 years ago. Last year, 2021, she just totally blew up. The other thing that this elderberry did was it suckered like hell around the bottom. So we're going to deal with that in the propagation stage. Bob Gordon Elderberry is grown commercially for its juice, and it's known for its fruit size. Now, keep in mind it's elderberry, so the fruit size is really small. I don't know, small. Easy to care for, pest, disease free. You won't find aphids or anything that I can think of. Zero pests, zero disease on the elderberry. I think it was discovered not all that long ago in Missouri, and then they do whatever they do to build out a cultivar, and that's the Bob Gordon cultivar. We have a web page dedicated to elderberry, ad-free. That's why I push you to our web page. That's heppy.org/elderberry. Check it out. I want you to think about your plant before you just start pruning. Like, one size does not fit all. If you're growing it commercially, there's a way to prune it, and it's my understanding they prune the elderberry down to the ground. You probably want to do that when it's totally dormant, January, February, if you're in the northern hemisphere. If you're a home gardener and she's not suckering, you may also want to prune it all the way to the ground to promote more root growth. Here at HEPPY, the Bob Gordon, and I'll show you this in a second, suckered like, I got the whole perimeter is full of plants coming up. So I sensed that if I cut this Bob Gordon Elderberry down to the ground, it's just going to totally promote those suckers to spread even further. Rather than having a plant where she's at now, I'm just going to have me a gigantic patch of Bob Gordon Elderberry. So getting back to my recommendation that you really think through what it is you want to accomplish with your elderberry. Since this one is suckering, I'm going to leave a lot of canes sticking up, and I'm going to prune her at about chest height straight away across. I want these canes to be out of the ground. I want the root system to be feeding the canes. Spring 2022, she's at least 9 feet tall. Very bushy, unlike the Johns, which grows very erect. I'm going to lower the camera. We're going to look at the lay of the land. We're going to work from the bottom up, thinning her and then giving her a haircut. This gives you an idea of just what sort of a jumbled mess and how bushy the Bob Gordon Elderberry grows. What we want to do is find dead, crappy wood, so that makes it a no-brainer. So you got to get on in, start at the bottom. You know how it is here at HEPPY. Bam. And lateral growing. Wow, that's a big one. Cutting it right down on the ground. Dead. Oh, part of it's alive. Growing very laterally. No go. It's a bunch of dead little branches And that one is growing kind of long, and it got weeds all up in it. We're gonna cut this cane. This cane is in the middle, like dead center of the plant. But what I'm gonna do is trim her off this healthy cane. Oh shit, I just broke her. Elderberry is very soft wood, easy to break if you pull on it too hard, and I could do a lot of pruning with just these hand shears. This branch broke. It opens her up for disease. So I'm actually gonna prune her down to a bud on my side of the stem, probably out of camera. Probably want to be a little more gentle, but it's elderberry. And they're just a powerful, powerful plant. I like this stem. I pruned her here. We're probably far below chest level, and that's okay. But that's going to be my height now. This cane is coming, a younger cane is coming off this bottom here. We may trade in this older cane for this younger cane. I'm really focused more about having a clear, open base, more than trying to save these limbs going in different directions. This one too, it's another nice young cane coming off like 2-year-old wood that's heading out that way. That's also dead. Another cane. Pruning her just above the bud, about a ½ inch. I'm sitting on the northern side, so if I'm gonna have a little taller canes, it's going to be on the northern side where it can be taller. On the sunny side, or the southern side, my canes can be lower. That way there's a better spread of the sun across this plant. Okay, so we hollowed out something here in the middle. To the side here we have our passion fruit vine little area. So I'm gonna have to do some cutting off on this side. Boy, talk about a plant that suckers. That's the passion fruit vine, the native one, native to North America. Man, so now I got a suckering elderberry next to the suckering passion fruit vine. Who knows what's gonna happen in here? So I got 2 canes forking out here. This one is older wood and it's just a little more pimply. So you can see here how older wood has more of these blemishes or pimples or whatever you want to call it. It's totally skin deep, and that's very distinct of older wood. And this is very distinct younger wood. Fewer pimples, and it's lighter in color. So what I was shouting about just a second ago, I have this cane here. It branches off, and what I'm going to do is trade in this older cane for this younger one. Okay, I'm going to trim that younger cane right off of these nice strong buds right here. Bam. Leave yourself at least a ½ inch between the cut and the bud. I'm gonna finish up the pruning. Dead cane, dead cane. I'm gonna adapt this video and show you 2 easy ways to propagate elderberry the no-brainer way. So we're gonna cut her off right here as she's growing far away from the plant. This one, ooh, that's a rooty tooty. That's got a lot of root mass on that one. So if I wanted to pot or sell a plant, it's out of camera, but this is like a branch that's in the ground that rooted, which is what we're going to do with that. This is another branch that's coming out laterally and just going sideways. We don't do sideways, and I think just out of your camera shot, so you see how this girl is a big old cane with the original cane with a whole bunch of new canes just coming off of her. Well, we don't need all of this structure. The fruit's not so heavy that it'll break the branch on an elderberry. You don't have to worry about that. Right now we need a sort of container a little bit. So let's start with that prune right there. Get that end off. Now I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably knock out this one in the middle. Take that one out right there. And thin it out like that. Good solid prune to kind of keep her anchored, open and clear in the middle. Plenty of space, air, and light for these new shoots to go shooting up, and we get flowers and the fruit off these new shoots. So I wanted you to have a close-up. This is all suckering plants right here. This is all elderberry, some larger ones. So this is suckering already from last year. The wood is 1 year wood for sure. More. I see suckers as far away from the plant that we planted several years ago, this far out, and this is firm soil. Propagating elderberries, super easy, and while working through here, I actually thought of 3 different no-brainer ways to propagate elderberry. We're gonna do all 3 super quick because some like icy shit was coming through here, the polar vortex of March 26th, and it's raining, blah, blah, blah. 3 no-brainer ways to propagate elderberry. Here we go. Wood chips. You know I love me my wood chips. This branch here is connected, and what we're gonna do is leverage this branch by getting a bed of wood chips up underneath it. Gonna anchor it down with some brick, and I hope these 2, wow, I got some resistance here. What we're gonna do is give her a little bit of a cut. Here's a plant right there at the tip. That bud might be a little broken, but these down here are looking just fine. I just love wood chips, just the way it behaves. It retains moisture, but it's very airy, and shit will grow inside it like nuts, especially something like elderberry. That's propagation method number 1. No-brainer method number 2, dig up some root mass. There's got to be something I can pot in here. Well, look at that. Well, I'd like a little more soil attached to the roots. Oops. Let's go further. There we go. There. That would be one plant. There's a nice root right there. So I'm going to sever excess root. Plant number 2. What do I got over here? Well, that one's kind of weird. You see that long spear right there? Very fresh shoot with little white roots coming out of it. Don't know if that's going to do something. What we can do is just wrap this around in a circle. Plant it in a pot. Bam. Bam. Top it off with some wood chips. Get her in here. You don't want to knock off the little white roots. Don't know if this one's going to do real well because that shoot was really kind of fresh, whereas this one had more, it was fresh shoots but far more mature roots. So I think this one's gonna do absolutely fantastic. Now we'll do the third no-brainer way to propagate elderberry. Check this out. One of the easiest ways to propagate elderberry is simply grab 1-year cane. This is best done when the plant is dormant before they start budding. Most of the cane is going to be under wood chips, so we're going to take off the plant life on the portion that's going to be under the wood chips. That part will be sticking out of the pile of wood chips. 1-year wood seems to be the best. We can get some 2-year wood. That's this right here. So like something like this, we could stick flat into the wood chips and have these points sticking up. So that's how we treat that right there. That was 2-year wood. Again, 2-year wood's gonna be a little more pimply. The area between a bud and where there's no bud, like this cut here, that's pretty much a dead zone. I don't think anything grows out of that. What you're going to get the growth out of the nodes where the buds grow out of. I'm leaving 2 nodes to be out of the ground or out of the wood chip. This area is a trough. It's sitting underneath this Chickasaw plum. This is also in a largely shady, half sun kind of an area. So because it's a trough, semi-shade, it's going to stay moist. That's what you want. We're putting down a bed of wood chips. On the far side is where I'm going to have the green growth come out of this pile of wood chips. I don't lay canes on top of each other. I put them side by side. This is that 2-year wood. Going to bring her that way. This one, for the hell of it, we're going to bring it this way. Now I would water this if it wasn't going to rain, but it's going to be very, very cold. We got some polar vortex action coming in. I might have buried some leaves, some greenery in there, but that's okay. What's important is that you have a lot of wood chips around those canes. So this is how you can propagate elderberry. Just stick the canes into some wood chips. You want rotted wood chips, not fresh wood chips, in a cool, moist area. It can be in a pretty damn shady area. You don't want this to start rotting, so it can't be full-blown shade. Wood chips is just an awesome medium. While it may look eventually dry on the surface, you go down 2 inches and it's going to be super, super moist. That's just the nature of wood chips. Love it. Heads up on elderberry, you want to make sure that you dig these girls up in a year or two. Don't leave them in place like I did with some Johns along there. Those Johns, I did the same thing with the canes. I'm pointing right at them girls. I've been pruning those now for a couple of years, and I'm starting to see suckers heading towards the green tea plant. Let's take a look at it, but what I'm getting at is, if you don't pick these up and plant them, they're gonna root right here. They're gonna hit the soil, and they're gonna do what elderberry does. These right here are elderberry cane that we put in the ground like a couple years ago, Johns. And I mean, they're like well rooted. These sort of stayed in place. I got one over there, again, against the fence, but she started to run, and she's starting to run to the green tea plant. And you can't be messing with my green tea plant. That takes a little bit to grow. So that's our green tea plant right there. And what's popping out of the ground right there? Right there and right there. Oh, great. Nice and deep too. Well, that's elderberry, and she's kind of deep. And it's a runner from a plant that's about 24 inches away. Be careful what you ask for. You'll get elderberry. Pick them up, do something with them. Otherwise, you'll have it everywhere. Hey, I hope you liked this video. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button if you didn't like the video. It's all good. Please subscribe to our channel as we stand up this 2-acre exhibition garden and turn our residential home into a home that's as off-grid as possible using off-the-shelf stuff. Take care of yourself. Take care of someone else if you can. Love you. Bye.